Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to have like a really open, honest conversation that I wish was being had, and I want to be transparent and I want to be really open about it. And let's just dive into it because something that I've been hearing a lot and something that a lot of people have brought to me is some sort of flavor of how do you have it all? And so I've had a couple people DM me and message me of like, I don't know how to hold both my career and a business. I don't know how to hold my business with fitness. Like I feel like it's one or the other. I feel like it's either or. I feel like it's sacrifice. And today, one of the conversations that I had inside my membership on our calls was someone said something to the effects of, it really feels like you have it all and I want to have it all and I don't know how to have it all. And can you tell me how you did it? And I think this is the important conversation to be having. And what I said there and what I'll say here is I never want this to come off as bragging, and I never want this to come off as like it's super easy. And I don't know, I just want to be really honest about this is and I want you to know that it's coming from a place of love and from a place of like I want you to have it. And what this conversation is like I honestly feel like I do have it all. I really do. Like I feel so blessed and I feel so lucky, and I want to be open on that. Like I want to be an example of yes, having it all, but also showing what it takes, showing the openness with that. But the reason why I'm being really like blunt with like, yeah, I do have it all is because I didn't have an example of that. I feel like growing up, I had a lot of examples of, specifically for me, I had a lot of examples of women who needed to sacrifice their dreams. I had a lot of examples of women who could do this or they could do that. I had a lot of examples of just feeling like the women in my life had either or, they didn't have it all. They had to sacrifice. They had to sacrifice for their family. They had to sacrifice financially. They had to, it cost them. And I do have it all, and I want you to have it all because I know you want to have it all, and I know you're capable of having it all. So let's just go get into what it looks like. Let's get into what it looks like and what it takes. So when I say I have it all, again, it's not to brag. It is literally just to show you what is available and possible. And honestly, you might want more than me, and I love that, and I want more for me. So let's just get into it. What I told my clients today was like, yeah, I have a dream relationship. I love the shit out of my boyfriend. I love the shit out of my man. Like, he's great. He's fantastic. It's been a work in progress, of course, but like he's my best friend. Like I don't show my relationship online a lot, but that dude is my best friend. He's my confidant. He is the person I laugh most with. Like everything is an adventure. Going to the grocery store is an adventure. Walking down the block is an adventure with us. And it's amazing. And I think no one in his life, no one in his life will watch this, so I think it's fine. But I'm pretty sure we'll probably get engaged late this year, if not early next year. Like, I really feel like I won the lottery in my relationship, and he has every value that I really wanted, and it is everything that I dreamed of. Now, with having that all, did that come easy breezy? No, it was a work in progress. Like, it was very much a work in progress. I feel like I have the business of my dreams. This is one where I do get caught up in more. I definitely find I get snagged on this more, but I really do have the business of my dreams. I have a life and a business coaching people around the world. I work with people from over 25 countries across the world, helping them become their most confident and helping them build the kind of identity and confidence and self-trust and discipline to be able to have what they want in life, to get whatever results they want financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. It's like I have a business that I once never dreamed of. Now, do I want it to be bigger? Absolutely. Of course. I really want to help more people. I have really big goals this year, but I get to have this business. And on the flip side with that, I get to have health and social life too. I have great friends. I am blessed with really good friendships. And I was even thinking in preparation for this, like, I love the shit out of my family and friends. Like, I have great relationships. My aunts are my best friends. My sister's my best friend. My cousins are my best friends. And then I have best friends restaurants. And I have my health too. Like, I'm really physically fit. I am very healthy. I really don't have a lot of health problems, but I've also created my health that way. And this is coming from someone who used to have binge and restrict cycles, who used to really have toxic relationships with food and diets. Like, I've been there too. And then I'm also in just a very beautiful financial situation. Do I want to be better? Of course, everyone always does. But it's like I started having multiple income streams at, I don't know, 24 years old. Like I have my business, I have my investment portfolios, and those do really, really well. And so it's like I'm very blessed. I feel like I have it all. Does that mean that it's perfect? No. And the thing that I think I wish I wish someone told me, and I want to be there for you. And I want you to know going into this. And I know it's probably felt like 5 minutes just me talking about myself, but I needed to paint the picture. But it's also not come without hardship or sacrifice. Like there's been challenges in it. And I think people think that if they face challenges, if they face hardship, if they have to sacrifice, it's not having it all. But I just think that's too all or nothing thinking. And I think it's the all or nothing thinking that actually disempowers people and doesn't allow them to have it all. So I just want you to know that, yeah, like I really feel like I'm so blessed. Like God has given me so many opportunities. I'm really, really thankful to it. I've created a lot of opportunities myself, but it doesn't mean it's not come without hardship. And if you're new here, I have depression. I get depressed. If you're not new here, it's not a surprise to you. like I get depressed. And so it's like, it doesn't mean it's perfect. It doesn't feel perfect. And this isn't like a woe is me either. Like I have way less challenges, and something that I've even had to adopt, and a mentality you might have to adopt too, is like the more challenges you have, the more blessed you are, the more greatness you're destined to. Challenges make you stronger. Challenges are not, it does not mean that you cannot have what you want. It does not mean that you're not going to get where you want to go. It means that you're being primed. Everything is preparing you. And a lesson that I really sat with the other day is like, in 2023 and in 2024, I prayed. I prayed for opportunities to go bigger. I prayed for challenges to make me stronger. I prayed for like a business and a life that felt more aligned. And in a lot of 2024, it felt like a clearing. It felt like a crumbling. But honestly, it was just it was just making space for it. It was all of my prayers being answered. It was all the opportunities coming to me. But seeing those challenges as that is a choice. So yes, I have it all. Yeah, I really do. Like I feel so blessed. I am a 28-year-old who is living a very different life, a life that, I'm not going to share, the life that I really thought I was not available to me. Like at 22, I was lost. I was hopeless. Like I was really on the depths of my depression. I thought I was never going to get anywhere. I thought I was always going to have a mediocre life, if at best. I really felt so lost and down. And I have everything that I wanted. And it's because of what I'm going to tell you in this episode. I think a really key part of the story, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this, at least a lot of people who tend to follow me, is that as a kid, I was defiant, I was spunky, and you weren't going to tell me shit. Like I was outgoing, I had my shit locked. I was big energy. And along the way, I lost a lot of that. And the reason why I lost a lot of that is because I was absorbing other people's limitations. And I remember being really young. I even remember in high school, there was just this one moment, and I remember it, but it happened so many times, where I would tell someone, I want to travel the world. This is what I really want to do with my life. I want to travel the world, and I want to make a lot of money, and I want to work for myself, and I want to be a mom of 4, and I just want to be so self-made. And every single time I was met with, you can't do that. You have to pick and choose. You can't have that all. It's either or. Wait until you finish your 40-year career. That's so unrealistic, Mackenzie. That's never going to happen. Like, it makes me sad because to me, like, this is why I wish someone had made this video for me. And I wish I found it when I was like 15. To have really big dreams and to have anyone, it doesn't matter who, whether it's your high school counselor, your parent, your friend, someone online, to have it be met with, no, not you, not possible. It's just so it's so disheartening. And to get to a point, and this is what the advice that I give a lot of my clients, to get to a point where you can have it all, the first decision that I had to make that was almost the coming home to myself, the coming back to a full expression of myself as that defiant, spunky, full of life, confident little kid, was I decided I had to stop accepting and absorbing other people's limitations. Because that was their problem. That was their shit. You do not have to accept anyone else's limitations. And I really made a full body commitment to that. Because I had looked at myself at that point in my life. And when I finally decided that, I was like 22. I looked at myself and I didn't like who I was. And I felt very low. And there was the this 2% of me. And it was the quietest 2% when the other 98 was kicking and screaming. But there was a small little voice in me that was like, no, you're made for more. You can have more. You can do this. There's more out there for you. This is not who you are. You are confident and you are bold and you are spunky and you're just like this whole big ball of fucking charisma. And I decided to trust it. That's the point where I decided to trust it. And so in order to have it all, I decided to stop living by other people's limitations. And I don't think we realize how much we live by other people's limitations, by other people's standards, by other people's ideas, and then just act accordingly. Like we really do. Whether it's what you do when you get home, whether it's how much time you think you have at the gym, whether it's like how hard you push yourself in a workout class, like it's all these little micro things that we don't even think about. But when you decide that you are no longer going to be bogged down by anyone else's limitations, what also ends up happening is you start to see all the areas in which you are doing that. And you start to now question your capacity. You start to now question your capability. You start to now question your identity and how you see yourself. And it opens you up and cracks you open. It opens you up to so much more being available to you. And you raise your standards. That's what happens. And that's what happened to me that allowed me on this path to having it all. As I started to raise my standards, raise how I saw myself because I was shedding these limitations. And I started to act accordingly. I really started to act accordingly. So like a perfect example of this is my first year in business, I was still working a corporate job. And that corporate job, this is going to sound so intense. And when people hear this, I know where their brains usually go. It goes to, I would never want to do that. It goes to, that's too much. I could never do that. It goes to, that sounds awful. But just stick with me for a minute because it sounds awful. It might sound really bad, but it was one of the best times of my life. So I was working a corporate job. I was starting my business, getting it off the ground. And this is what my schedule was. I was living in California, but my corporate job worked East Coast hours. So I was waking up at 4:30, if not 4:15, and starting work by just about 4:45 a.m. And then I was working all the way until about definitely a hard like 3:30 p.m., which was 6:30 Eastern, but that often even went all the way until like 8, 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 5, 6 p.m. So what I would do is that in pockets of free time that I had, I would work on my business. I would even be brainstorming. I would even be in a meeting. And if it was one of those meetings, well, maybe this makes me a bad employee. Oh, well, I'm years out of it. I don't care. I would take notes on like ideas that were crossing my brain. I just had a notepad or a notebook next to me and I was always writing ideas down. I was still doing my job excellently. I was still completely fine at corporate. I was never like dropping the ball. And then after I was done working in corporate, I would build my business. I would write posts. I would brainstorm ideas. I would create my offers. I would show up hardcore. And during that time, I was still going to the gym. I wasn't at my like peak fitness, but I was up there. And I had a great social life. I had met all these friends. But when people hear what I was doing, they think I could never work that much. Like I was literally working on my business until sometimes 10:30, 11, 12 a.m. And I like, think about it. What that tells you is, was that every night? No. But a lot of times my hours were from 4:45 a.m. fitting the gym somewhere in there, and then going all the way until 10:30 p.m., 11:30 p.m. Getting not as much, like, of course I got some sleep more than that nights, right? I'm not going to pretend it was like, I'm grinding 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night. No, like some hours I got 7, 8, fine, right? Like it happens. That was such a good time in my life. And I was having so much fun. And I felt so regulated. I felt so on top of the world. I felt so blessed. I really felt like I had it all. It was not this grind. It was not this hustle. Because a lot of the reason why we think it's going to be that way is just other people's limitations, just other people's ideas around things. I truly clean the slate of like, this is what I want my life to look like, and this is what I'm willing to do to create it. And I'm going to have fun doing it. And that's what created the dynamics of being able to do that. So it started really in that way, but everyone's brains go to sacrifice, challenge, too hard. I don't want to do it. But I need you to know that when you decide that you don't have to accept other people's limitations, you also stop accepting limitations on, like I said, your capacity and your energy levels and what's possible for you and how it all feels. So you can decide how it's going to feel. So that's the first thing, is you really need to decide not to accept other people's limitations and stop placing the limitations on yourself. Like, that's the other thing, is you need to stop placing limits on yourself that don't even exist. There is a difference between an actual limit that you have and just something that's outside your comfort zone. And that is actually a little uncomfortable. And I think we often mix up the two. I think we mix up doing something uncomfortable with an actual limit outside of our skill set, not in our capacity. So often the reason people don't have more what they want is because they're not willing to go outside their comfort zone, because they don't have the belief that they're needing in themselves. And they're accepting, they don't want to be uncomfortable. You might have to be a little uncomfortable to have it all. And again, don't go to the all or nothing mindset of, she's telling me I have to sacrifice. It's not worth it. I can't do it. It's going to be too much. I don't have the time. No, that's the all or nothing thinking that keeps people stuck. That's the limitations. So that's the first thing. The two other things that I tell people that they really need to work on is their self-esteem and their self-respect. I had to believe that I was a worthy person. So often the reason that we don't actually have it all is for nothing other than we don't see ourselves as someone capable of having it all. We don't think we're worthy of having it all. It's almost like this upper limit problem where we hold ourselves back, we self-sabotage because we don't feel deserving, we don't feel worthy of having it all, and we feel lack. We feel lack within ourselves. But there's nothing inherently unworthy about you. God, the universe, guardian angels, whatever you believe in, you did not come out inherently lacking. There's nothing about you that is lack. God does not make people from a place of lack. He does not give you things. The universe didn't leave you out. The only reason that we're lacking is simply that we're lacking the belief in ourselves, and therefore we see ourselves differently and see ourselves as incapable of being able to have it all. So something that is absolutely going to need to be worked on to be able to have it all, and that I had to do to have the relationships, the financial situation that I do. I'm very blessed for my age, for having the health that I have, like all of this, to be able to juggle it all, is having the self-image, having the self-concept, the identity of someone capable and worthy of having it all. Like, I don't see myself, and I have, and there's even seasons where I struggle with it. Let me be clear on this. There's seasons where I question myself. There's seasons where I'm like, can I actually do this? Can I hold this? There's seasons where I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough for this, but I question that. I don't leave it. Even if I have to question it and question it and question it and keep meeting it again and again and again, I meet it again and again. But it's like, I cannot allow myself to see myself as lacking for some reason, to see myself as unworthy, to see myself as undeserving. There's no reason for that. And for me, you don't have to turn this way. And I will never place this on anyone. But for me, I really turned to I'm an Italian woman, all right? I was raised in an Italian family. I was raised with nuns and priests and the whole gambit. But it's like very much raised with the idea of like, God made you in his image. God wants all of us. And you don't have to think about God. You can think about the universe. You can think about whatever you want to think about. Just think about it spiritually. It doesn't matter. But it's the idea, and I just think it's a good message, but I think it's the idea of like, each one of us is so special and unique and brilliant and beautiful and talented and skilled and capable and necessary in our own way. And then when we are fully ourselves, when we are fully expressed, we are unique and needed, and we have our unique purpose. We are special in our own unique way. And God made you that way for a reason. God didn't make you with lack. God didn't make you incapable. Like, you are made, and you have God-given purpose and traits and gifts that you're meant to bring to this world. And it's not that we're ever lacking that. It's simply that we have limitations, shame, fear, doubt that does not allow us to see that. And so to have it all, you don't have to believe in God. That's not what I'm saying. But I think you have to have this innate understanding that you're worthy. That you're worthy because you are. And a line that I've said since the beginning of my business, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, is that you are worthy as you are without changing a single hair on your head right now in this moment. There's nothing lacking about you. The only reason you would ever feel that way is because you are believing some sort of sentence or sentiment that is making you feel that way. Your self-image, you are like, if you just run with me for the minute of there's something lacking about you, then our self-image is really genuinely just, it comes from an interpretation of our experiences in the past. You simply have an interpretation that has led you to believe you're lacking. To have it all, you're going to have to stop limiting yourself and see yourself as someone who you can have it all. There's no rational, logical reason why you can't have it all. And a lot of the reason that you might try, if you were a client, we were talking about this, a lot of the reason that you're going to come up with is actually just fear and excuses. If we just boil it all down, strip it clean, it's just fear and that's it. So you have to build your self-esteem. The next thing that you really have to work on, I absolutely had to work on this, is respecting yourself. I think it's very interesting that in our society, we like to get really up in arms if someone else disrespects us. If we're dating someone and they disrespect us, if our friend says something to us, if our mom says something that, like, how dare she say that to me? If our boss underestimates us, like all these things, we're really quick to be mad at other people for disrespecting us. Meanwhile, we are chronically and oppressively disrespecting ourselves very often and on a day-to-day, if not minute-to-minute basis. It's in the way that we speak to ourselves. It's in the way that we put ourselves down. It's in the way that we sell ourselves short. It's in the way that we think we're not worthy, or we're cruel to ourselves, or we're mean to ourselves, or we tell ourselves that we're not good enough. Like, that is not you respecting yourself. Like, I just want you to realize in this moment of like, that's not you respecting yourself. And so a lot of the time, when I say self-respect, what I'm really talking about is this, is like, do you treat yourself with the honesty, the compassion, and just the attitude of someone who, like, you really highly regard that person? Do you treat yourself as a person that you highly regard, respect, and want the best for? So what I really had to do was respect myself through how I treated myself, how I saw myself, and the decisions that I made. And this is the part where it comes in of like the more sacrifice and the more hard decisions and challenges, is to have it all. Yeah, there's some difficult decisions that you have to make. And I think people often see this discipline aspect, the self-respecting aspect, as more of deprivation. They see it as depriving themselves. They see it as hard decisions. They see it as uncomfortable. I have learned that I just have to see self-respect and discipline as making choices for my long-term goals despite my current emotions. Making decisions for my long-term goals despite my short-term, current, temporary emotions. Let's take health, for example. Or even I'll take all the examples. For health, yeah, I might have to forego some of the foods that I really like, and I eat them on a less frequent basis. Sometimes I do that. Often I do that. I'm doing that right now. I don't see that as deprivation. I don't see that as, oh, I'm gonna have to diet and restrict and I can't have what I want. No, I see it as, I really want a more athletic body this year. I really want like a drop dead damn body. And so what I am doing is trying to develop discipline in how I eat a little bit, just being a little bit more disciplined with it so I can get closer to that. Discipline in training a little bit harder, pushing myself harder, going for an hour in which I really push myself versus 45 minutes where I'm just checking boxes and showing up. Or in business, yeah, I have had seasons where I don't go on the weekend trip with friends. That doesn't mean I never go on weekend trips with friends. Just in January, I went on 2 weekend trips. I still went on 2 weekend trips. But I do occasionally choose my growth, my priorities over others. And I think people don't want to do that. I think the reason they don't want to do that is not because they can't, but because they're seeing it as deprivation. And they're thinking short term because they don't actually believe they can have the long term, have it all. So it's really about not accepting limitations, believing you're a worthy person, and learning how to respect yourself in different ways. And again, this isn't all or nothing. This is not an all or nothing. I never eat the good food. I just had like 4 different kinds of cheesecake this weekend, right? Like it's not this all or nothing. All or nothing often comes from shame and fear. But it is the idea of having it all. You want the business, the body, the bank account, the career, the relationship, the friendships, like all of it. You can. You can. I want you to know that you can. It's not without challenges. It's not without a little discomfort. It is so worth it. I'm so glad I went on this journey. I'm so glad I did this for myself because it's better than I even imagined. You're not incapable of doing it. It's just learning the skills to set yourself up for it. That's it. And so much of what we work on inside the membership, inside Audacious, where we really help you grow and master the levels of audacious confidence to get any result you want, to 10x your results. The skills we really work on in there is being really delusional, being really disciplined. It's both working on your self-belief, your self-trust, your self-respect. It is growing the skills that you have to believe in yourself and show up for yourself in ways that get very real results. You can have it all. Like I just the other day got someone coming in their first month. They came in, they're like, I'm so deep in shame. I am struggling to make money. I'm struggling to like myself. I'm struggling to do anything to put myself out there. And within the month, not even a whole month. It was 3 weeks, I think, landed a 6-figure job. Said she's in the best shape of her life and she's never been more consistent with her health. Said her relationship is thriving. Her relationship has just moved to the next level, like the next step in their relationship. She's feeling so much confidence in the shame that she'd been plagued by for an entire year prior. Gone. Because when you learn how to believe in yourself and see yourself and stop accepting the limitations, how you show up for yourself changes, and therefore the results you get change. If you're someone who's really wanting to have it all, like you really want to have it all, come join the membership. Come join the membership. You will see a difference in the first month when you really commit to it. It is you learning how to have that audacious self-belief in yourself, because that's what's changed my life. That's what's made it available for me to have it all. And I think I might be jumping the gun a little bit on this. I think I definitely am. I definitely am, but it's okay. I'll say it anyway. I'm going to come out with an offer very soon, if not by the time this link is dropped, where for under $10, anywhere from $4 to $7 is what we're deciding on right now. I'm teaching you in a masterclass the foundations that you need to 180 your life. The foundations that I wish someone was really honest about and taught me in order to become this person. Because I think we're taught the how a lot, but it's high level, or we're just given a lot of fluff. I just want to give, like, strip it back, no BS. This is the shit that I really needed to know to start the business, to get unstuck, to stop settling, to 180 my life. It is literally the foundations that you need to 180 your life so that when you decide you're ready to 180, you send it, you take off, you go. Because the reality is, for me and for so many of my clients, it didn't take years and years and years. I went from really depressed and lost and hopeless to running a multiple 6-figure global business, living my dream life within, I think it was under 18 months. That's what I'm teaching in that. And if you were like, I want that, but I don't want to wait, just hop in Audacious. It's all in there too. It's all in there. If you're like, I'm not waiting, I'm doing this now, I want everything, go on Audacious, go on the membership. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I just really wanted to have an honest conversation where it's like, it's not perfect. I still struggle. I am still met with demons and insecurities and ego and all the things at every new level. Yes, but I've managed to know how to work through them rapidly. So I do get to have it all because no one told me I could have it all. And I wish someone did. I wish I had someone in my life back then who said, you know what, kid, you can do it. You can have everything. It's just about how much you believe in yourself and how you show up for yourself. So I want to be that person too. And I want to be the example of, yeah, there are women who very honestly and openly do have it all and who show you how to do it, who don't pretend it's rainbows and sunshine. And so that the minute you hit a challenge, you think it's over. Self-destruct. You can have it all. You are worthy. You are capable. You have so much more in the tank than you think you do. But it's about building these skills, mastering these skills, and not just getting stuck in the awareness of, okay, she told me what to do, I know what to do, but actually actioning it. So if you need that accountability, if you need the action of it, if you need someone to hold your hand and walk you through it every single day, that's the membership. Okay. So know you can have it all. Know you're capable. You are so much more beautiful, intelligent, needed, special, unique than you think. And let me know if you have questions. Leave it in the comments below. Come DM me on Instagram. I'm here to help you in whatever way I can.